everybody.
Got my beer.
Way to go, Yendi. You wanna go get your beer?
You can go get it while he's running. Yeah, go.
You can go get it.
Extend
go get it, Yendi. Run.
Extend
Run.
the intro.
Run.
For the audio listeners, Yendi has jumped through the hurdles, through the wall.
We have a Yendi who just disappeared. Welcome everyone to episode 12 of the LPF Show. I am your host for today, Alan, as Yendi has himself a Yingling. We saw it. So, and then I'm joined by, of course, my, two homies, two co-hosts. We got Yendi.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? Welcome.
And then we have Chris.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
All right, let's start things off with something, what have you guys been playing lately? I need to know. We haven't said it in a while. What have we been playing? Anything new?
So, for me, I don't know what it was, but I played the first Jak and Daxter and decided, you know what? I'm going to go through the whole series now that I have my PS Vita. I'm going to go through the whole series in order. So, I beat Jak 1 last week. This week, or just before the show, like 30 minutes before the show, I beat Daxter. So, now I have Jak 2 downloading on the PS5. And I'm probably going to start that after the show. So, and those, I'm happy to say those games still hold up. So, yeah, they don't really need a remaster or anything, in my opinion. So,
I mean, I feel that case with most games.
Yeah.
I feel like we want the remake just for the visuals, but gameplay wise, I feel like all those games
everything
hold up.
was fine. Yeah.
And Yendi, what you been playing?
Outriders, man.
Oh, yeah, and Outriders.
That game's been a lot of fun, man. It's just like a breath of fresh air. That and Apex. I've been wanting to play a lot of Warzone lately, but I think it's because I had such a long break from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now whenever I come back to it, I don't use the same weapons everybody else does. I use these obscure weapons.
Yeah, me and Yendi have been doing random class. We'll just do a random class and jump into plunder and see what we can do.
To me, it's fun because I love killing people with all these obscure ass guns, and they're probably raging because I'm not shooting them with the FFAR or the
meta.
AUG. And I'm just laughing my ass off here. I call it the FFAR, but anyways, yeah, it feels a lot better when I get killed, knowing that I could whatever. Yeah, Warzone, Outriders, and Apex. Yeah.
How many times have you died in Outriders?
Probably 3 to 5 times. I got wrecked. Co-op is, I swear, a lot easier.
Yeah, I think it's easier because of the aggro. The aggro, I feel, is such a big part of that game. Like when you fight a boss by yourself, it's just he's only focused on you, and you have nothing to deteriorate.
Well, it depends your class too, because his class, the class he picked is definitely rough. You have to balance between cover and actually being in the person's face.
I was expecting when Chris joined me for the game to go way up in difficulty, because that's what I read. I think
it did at that one part. Remember all those bosses coming at us at once, and we were like, "What is going?" And it chased us all the way back. And then we had the random guy.
I was just going like this with my mouse spraying.
And then a random guy joined us, and we're like, "Okay, we kind of have it under control now."
Yeah, but it's been fun, man. I love that game.
That game is really good.
Hoping to finish it. This might be another game that I actually finished all the way through, even though there's a 35-hour campaign, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, man.
But it's fun, man. That loot in the world, I'm interested to see what's next and where I go and see all the different biomes that I've seen in the trailers.
Maybe Friday we'll do another big stream for it.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
Call my name.
Be there, be square. Me personally, I've been playing Apex a lot. I'm trying to finish the battle pass. I just hit 93 today, so that's a good thing. So yeah, I've been playing some Apex. I've been really playing Apex, and I mean, of course, I just got the exciting news from Apex with the new character being introduced, Valkyrie. Which, if you guys know me, how much I love Titanfall 2 because it's the best first-person shooter I've ever played. So that. For me, I'm excited for that. I'm going to main her. I don't care what her abilities are. I don't care what tier she is. That's who I'm playing.
Did you see, speaking of her though, did you see that there's people already asking for her to be nerfed and she's not out yet?
I mean, of course.
It's not a troll either. I was like, oh, they're trolling. And then there were people going through stats and stuff and they're like,
Yeah.
nerf day one, please. And I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Well, do we know her abilities and all that stuff yet?
I mean, some
I think
people
there was a
do.
leak.
Yeah, there must be a leak or something out there, but there's
Yeah.
people complaining about her already. And I'm like, you
I know
haven't
they
even
talked
dealt with
about,
her in a game yet. Relax.
but I mean,
Course.
you at this idea now, I feel like Respawn just tends to do this so people can get into the game and enjoy the character. Because I mean, Horizon in this last patch is broken. Like Horizon's too good, and they're nerfing her already.
Mhm.
But usually they don't nerf within the season. That at least hasn't been like a major thing for Apex. They usually nerf like during the season, so you have to deal with that the whole season. But we'll see. But also a lot of people are going to play her, and you know how it is. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. And besides that, I've also been rewatching Demon Slayer for my anime fans out there. If you haven't watched Demon Slayer, go watch it. The movie comes out on Friday. It is amazing. But that's all I have for that. We're gonna go to a little housekeeping, guys. We're still doing the mouse giveaway. When we hit 50 YouTube subscribers and 50 Twitch followers, we will proceed in the rules and everything for the giveaway. So as soon as the closer we get to that, the sooner we get to that, the sooner we can do the giveaway, and then we can hit our next target, and then probably do another giveaway. So this is our way of giving back to you guys for supporting us, and enjoying our content and things like that. So if you have a friend that likes the stuff that we talk about, just go ahead and send them, our links. We have a link tree with pretty much everywhere you can find us, because we're pretty much everywhere now. Podcasts, YouTube, Twitch. I'm working on the TikTok, so we'll be there soon too. So, and then also we've got a video out for my video that came out Friday, which is my 2 favorite Dreamcast games. I'm going to make an extended video of that now that I'm, feeling much better after the, vaccine shots. So, and then next we have a video coming out this Friday, which is Chris's video.
Yeah.
And
it's going to be Fever Quest is back. I decided to try to put more of a Let's Play video on there. So that'll be out Friday. And then, yeah, I'm going to try to put a special treat in there too for the viewers. So, yeah.
And yeah, so that's about it for housekeeping. So let's get into the news. Our first story we're going to talk about is Discord ends its talks with Microsoft. This article is from the Wall Street Journal. It's by Sarah E. Needleman and Cara Lombardo. Basically, chat startup Discord Inc. has halted its talks to sell itself to potential suitors, including Microsoft Corp. According to people familiar with the matter, as it resumes its interest in potentially initial public offer down the line. For people who don't know what an initial public offer is, they pretty much want to create their own stock so that they can be Discord Inc. and then people can buy into the company of Discord. This article goes in to say Microsoft has been in advanced talks to acquire Discord for at least $10 billion, the Wall Street Journal reported last week. Those talks ended without a deal, though it is possible they could be rekindled in the future, some of the people said. So what are you guys' thoughts on that, Yendi?
I mean, kind of surprising, I guess, because I thought that was going to go through for sure. But I guess something happened. Maybe, like you said, they were filing an IPO, wanted to get some more money out of it. But I mean, 10 billion? That's a lot of
10
money.
billion's a lot of money.
I mean, that's a lot. Like
Yeah.
that's more than IPO usually goes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't know what they're planning, but what I saw happening was Microsoft taking Discord and their technologies and all that stuff, either dissolving Discord itself or because they own what's that other chat service? Is it
TeamSpeak?
Slack?
Oh, Slack.
Slack,
Yeah,
right?
they do on Slack, yeah.
Microsoft own? So my thought is they would either get rid of the Slack brand or get rid of the Discord brand and just branch all the technologies together. I'm
And call
assuming
it
they
Microsoft something.
or Microsoft Discord, or just dissolve it all together just under one brand and just bring all the best of both platforms for all the Windows ecosystem and Xbox and all that. But I don't know, would that have created a monopoly in that space? Or because aside from Discord and Slack, what else is there? TeamSpeak is very general. I mean, it's very specific to games, whereas Discord and Slack are pretty much a well-rounded communication and chat app. So that's what I saw happening. I don't know why it is that the deal fell through, but I'm sure a lot of people are happy because sometimes people hate when Microsoft puts their hands in
A
other
lot of
companies.
people.
But I feel like that's older Microsoft. The new
Hmm.
management, the newer management they had recently, seems to be pretty hands off compared to the older people that were in charge. But I guess good for Discord. If they have a bigger plan, good. But I mean, that's $10 billion. So good luck,
It's a
whatever they
lot of
do
money.
next.
Yeah, I feel like they probably realized, like, okay, why they probably analyzed it, like, they looked at the offer and they're like, okay, so why 10 billion? Like, why are they offering this much? So, like, what are we seeing that what are they seeing that we're not seeing? And they probably, research it, and there probably is a bigger plan, or they feel like they're doing just fine by themselves, and they'll profit off of themselves even more. For me, my heart dropped a little bit because, as you guys know from the last episode, I bet Yendi about Game Pass coming to Switch, and whenever it comes to bets and stuff, I always have the worst luck. All right, but I'm still pretty confident on it. But with talks like this, I'm hoping Nintendo's just like, wait, we're Nintendo, right? Yeah. Stop talking to them. Just cut it off. Hang up the phone. So we're just kind of waiting on that. But yeah, with the Discord thing, man, I don't know. Like, I just wish that maybe since they're independent, actually, this just kind of popped into my head. If they stay independent without it being a Microsoft like exclusive thing, what if they try to get Discord, like the Discord app, on Xbox and Sony, like on Xbox and PlayStation? That would be
I
great.
think that is a possibility. I mean, being independent does give them, the room to do things like that. I feel like the $10 billion, it is a lot of money, but I feel like, because I don't know if you guys know this or if we talked about it, but Discord was the people who actually went to Microsoft with the talk. I think Yendi brought that up, right? Yeah. So
Oh,
I
okay,
think,
that's right.
yeah.
That's right.
So they actually went to them and kind of was like, "Hey, we're looking to be purchased." But when I see things like IPOs, meaning they want to make, a lot of gaming companies have become IPOs and become their own stock ticket symbols, like Roblox just became one, and companies like that. So I think what they're seeing is that probably down the road they could make enough money to make that $10 billion, but it's also bold to be like, we're going to turn down $10 billion when you have a company like ZeniMax who was like 7.5 is a lot of money. We kind of want that, like, you know what I mean? So
And
that,
trying to
yes,
be a
be
bigger company too, more and more assets too. So,
exactly. So it's
oh
kind
man,
of like, I don't know, like how much money Discord anticipates getting if they do become a public, trading offer. I'd be real interested to see. But to your point, yes, if they do remain independent, they can try to go on to all other platforms. But I don't see Microsoft being like. I think Microsoft, out of all the companies, would be the one that be like, okay, you guys, because they've already have like a mini integration. But I can't see Sony being like, oh yeah, come Discord, come onto our chat, especially with the way Sony has been recently. That's my personal take.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. So
they were
maybe.
pretty. Sony,
Go ahead.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was saying that Sony's pretty strict on their party chat. They
Hmm.
had
Yeah.
some funky changes early in the year that I think they
Hmm.
reversed on, but I mean, they could really benefit from having
Oh,
Discord on the
absolutely,
PlayStation, like
absolutely.
Yeah, PlayStation's
so
been,
much.
in my opinion, they're falling further and further away from gamers and just making. They're just focusing on what games look good. They don't care about the player. They definitely don't care about content creators, because whenever I tried to stream that first day and I looked into the back of the PlayStation 5 and I saw all the ports that they took out, and I was like, cool, how do I record and get my audio in my headset and all this? Like, the crap I had to jump through to get it to
Yeah,
work is just ridiculous, man. And then for Discord, maybe the 10 billion, like, since you guys said they went to Microsoft, maybe it was just a clout check, like, hey, how much do you think we're worth? I don't know. And then
Could be,
let's reach out. We'll go off of
could
this.
be, but I don't know. I guarantee 10 bill is hard to turn down. But again, they have their
Bro,
researchers
that's
who
crazy.
do that type of sourcing. And like Yendi said, I mean, ZeniMax taking, 7.5, and then Microsoft even offering you, hey, we'll take you for 10 bill, shows what Microsoft kind of sees in that, the potential they see in Discord. And maybe you're right. Maybe Discord was just like, yo, if you guys are offering 10 bill, that means we could probably make this 10 bill. So who knows?
And then also, like how, because money is a big thing. But like whenever it comes to, say us three, we started Discord, right? And you're building it to what it is now. You're about to sell. You're about to make the biggest deal of your life changing. Like you probably don't have to work again, right? Whenever it goes through, would you be able to sell the deal? Like say Last Place Fire Team got to that point, right?
Mhm.
And they come up to Microsoft comes up and says, you sell us the name, like you guys are done with the show, we're gonna put our own guys on it, we just want the brand, like we're gonna take it for this much. Like, do you feel like at that point you're just gonna be like, oh yeah, done deal? But like also at the same time, even though people are gonna call you an idiot for turning down like 10 bill, like, yo, what the heck are you guys doing? You know what I mean?
It all depends on like your.
Straight up, I'll sell it.
You
Straight
would
up.
sell it?
It just depends
Listen,
on your situation.
though. The right sum of money, yes, I will do it, because in the end, what are we doing this for, right?
Well,
I mean, ultimately, if we start making money off of this, great. If we are able to get that big and are able to sell for the right amount of money, maybe 11 billion, I'd do it.
Here's the thing. I agree with the Andy's point in the sense that there's 100% a price that, like, you know what I mean? If you look at it, like, especially if you don't, let's say like we start generating, like, in this world, we generate like $2.5 million, right? And then like a year, okay? And then Microsoft is like, hey, we'll give you 15 billion, right? For your thing. Like, think about how long it would now take you to make that, that profit. And obviously you would work around to see how much of the contract you can get, because obviously it's a negotiation, because Discord can come out and be like, hey, we'll sell to you guys for 10 billion, but here's our restrictions. Now Microsoft can be like, we don't want any of your restrictions, and here's $5 more billion to not have it. So it's a give and take, really, because that's what negotiations is how much are you willing to give away. But there's 100% a price that you would be like 20 billion, hey, for everything, and you'd be like, okay, like that just no denying that.
see,
Everyone
me
has
personally,
that price.
I don't know, man. Me personally, I'd be like, it would take a lot of thought, and then you can ask Bree. I'm that person that, like, as soon as I signed it and I got the cash and stuff, I'd feel immediately bad right afterwards. I'd be like, oh no, I didn't really want this. Like, I still want my
you
hand.
would think about it.
Yeah, I would try to like, most likely to try to negotiate of like, can I still be a part of this thing, please? Like, because I've been feeding this thing.
Negotiation for sure. Like, but also that doesn't change the fact that there is a set number that would come up, and you would, like, without hesitation be like, you know what, you're right. Because I mean, 20 bill, like, come on. I'm not saying that that's our price. I'm just saying I know for sure that there's a price that would get us all three to consensusly go, yep, that's the price. There's just
$3,000. It's yours.
like, well, I don't know about that. That's too low for me. but yeah, so we'll go on to the next story.
Party! Trivia time! All right. Okay, here we go, gentlemen.
I really got to add a sound cue, man. I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting. I'm sorry.
Okay. This week we have 6 questions that are, and there are 17 points up for grabs. Okay.
Nani.
Hold on. So you guys know. Hold on, quiet, real quick.
The mic's off.
Okay.
Oh.
Good. Okay, six questions. Not all of them are gaming related. Here we go. Remember the rules. I complete the question, and then first one to raise their hand gets the answer. This time, though, if nobody gets it right on the first time, then we skip it, and it'll go towards next week.
Saves Andy some work.
It can't go towards that because then you're gonna research it.
Yeah, because we'll research it. That would be kind of hard.
If you remember.
I'll remember, because it'll keep me up at night. I'll be like, dude, what the heck is the answer to that?
Answer, yeah, absolutely.
Question number 1, ladies and gentlemen. This is for 2 points.
Oh.
The PlayStation was first designed as a companion to this gaming console. A, Sega Dreamcast, B, Super Nintendo Entertainment System, or C, Sega Genesis? Alan.
Super Nintendo.
Yes, sir. That's
Oh,
right.
I would have got that wrong. I would have said Sega Genesis.
Because there is if you look deep enough on the internet, you can find some of the concept art.
Wait, it was supposed to campaign, like it was supposed to.
Yep.
They made 200 prototypes. There's only one that one person owns.
That made it.
The rest of them have been destroyed.
How much do you think that is?
He bought it for $360,000.
He bought it for $360,000.
He was the CEO of Toys.com and some other. I don't know what it was.
Bro.
Okay, here we go. Question number 2. This is also worth 2 points. What is the name of Ellie's friend in the Left Behind DLC?
Oh, you know what's bad? I never played the DLC.
I did play it.
I didn't play it. Oh no.
Okay, here are your choices. Okay,
though. I only played it once.
choices.
Okay.
A, Emily, B, Claire, C, Sophie, or D, Riley? Chris.
I want to say, is it Riley?
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. I almost said Sophie, bro. I was there. I was just like, but Riley sounds.
I knew it once you said it. Like once it triggered. But I've only played the DLC once.
Yeah, I figured you guys would not know that. Okay, question number 3, also worth 2 points. Excluding, and I believe, this is a 2-part question. Okay. Excluding the D-pad, how many buttons are on the face of the Sega Genesis arcade controller? What are they labeled? Alan?
So excluding the D-pad, right?
Yep.
It's a 6-button. It's X, Y, Z, A, B, C.
You got one part of the question right.
You said face.
Yep.
Start.
Nah.
That's what I was about to say. I was literally about to
I'll give you 1 point. I'll give you 1 point for that. Leave it off. Leave the other one off.
All right, you can cancel the question because I was gonna answer the rest of it, but then he said that.
You gotta listen. You gotta listen. All right, here we go. This is a Lord of the Rings question.
Bro,
this one is worth 5 points.
Oh no.
What is the name of the ant who carries Pippin and Merry through Fanghorn Forest? The ant is a big, the giant walking tree.
I know exactly who you're talking about, and I don't know.
Chris?
Elsnophagus.
Huh?
Correct. Just kidding.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
Neither one of you know.
Yeah.
The name, I'll just tell you. Treebeard.
Wow, what a simple.
Yeah.
Well, all the names are simple. It's just
Right?
Do I need to watch?
Okay. Nobody gets 5 points. That sucks, man. Okay, question number 5 is worth 4 points, and it's also a 2-part question.
What is it? Lord of the Rings also?
This is Marvel.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Okay, wait until I finish the question. What kind of animal does Captain Marvel befriend, and what is its name?
That's you, Alan.
It's a cat.
Yep.
And
Oh, okay. Yeah.
it is. Dang, I don't remember the name, man. It's a cute name because it's like a cute cat name. I don't.
Oh my
remember
god!
the
I
name,
literally have the
I
pop
watched that
behind
movie
me.
like twice. I
Chris?
watched that movie twice.
Oh no! Yeah. So it is a cat. Oh, dude. Hold on.
You got 1 point, Alan.
If Chris gets this wrong, can I get a chance before you
You
say
already
it?
answered.
Okay.
You already answered, man. Hey, Chris.
No,
What is
I
your
can't think. I
answer?
can't think of it. It's on the tip of my tongue too.
You can say it, Alan, but it won't count as a point.
Does it start? Does it start with an S?
Nope.
Okay, cool.
Goose. The name is Goose.
Oh yes, because of the freaking.
I knew- I knew it was
Okay.
a cat, though, man. I knew it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's also a movie I just watched. Like, I literally.
I'm gonna watch
watched
it
that
again.
movie
I gotta watch it again.
the
Yeah.
year it came out, and that's probably like one of. I think I watched that movie like 4 times in total.
Dang.
All right,
And
last
that's like one of my least
question.
watched.
Yeah.
Not because I
Last
didn't think it
question
was
is
good. I
worth-
just don't like prequels.
is worth 2 points, and this is tech related. NVIDIA's primary line of GPUs is labeled GeForce. Their closest competitor, AMD's, is known as what?
No.
Alan?
Radeon.
There you go. 1. At 2. You're at 10 points. Chris is at 4. Chris, you need to pick it up.
Bro, the first quiz night, I was killing it, but now I'm like, holy crap.
All right, that's it.
All
thank
right,
you
guys.
for those who
I'm
listened
glad,
and joined us, podcasters.
You guys just listening for the first time. That is our weekly quiz that Yendi gives us, kind of giving us some brain, making us work our brain and our knowledge. So
Goose hurts.
It's always fun.
Goose hurts.
Yeah,
that one hurt.
Like I said, I've watched that movie like 4 times, and it's only because it's a prequel.
But literally, like as soon as he said goose, like in my mind, it's just like slapping itself, and it's just like they flew jets and stuff. Chris, what are you doing?
Like, and also, I just think of that scene with him and Nick Fury.
For some reason, for some reason, I'm thinking like because of the eye thing, but that doesn't happen till the end, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to base the name off of like, okay, he takes an eye. He's an alien.
No.
What? I'm like trying to.
All right.
Yeah.
That was
let's
good
get back to the news here. We're going to go to our next story, which happened yesterday. PlayStation Store on PS3 and the PS Vita will continue its operations. This is actually this is an article from Jim Ryan, the president and CEO of Sony Entertainment. It reads, recently we notified that PlayStation Store for PS3 and the PS Vita devices was planned to end this summer. Upon further reflection, however, it's clear that we made the wrong decision here. So today, I am happy to say that we will be keeping the PlayStation Store operation for PS3 and Vita devices. PSP commences functionality will retire on July 2nd, 2021, as planned. When we initially came up to the decision to end purchasing support for the PS3 and the Vita, it was born out of a number of factors, including commence support challenges for older devices and the ability for us to focus more on our resources on newer devices where a majority of our gamers are playing on. So that's basically what the rest of this says, and he's just pretty much saying, hey, we messed up. So we saw this actually with Microsoft with the whole Xbox Live thing and the internet kind of being like, hold up, guys, you guys need to slow down. So what are you guys' thoughts, Chris? I know you just bought a Vita, so I want to know your personal thoughts on this one. I mean, is this good news for you, or is this like, come on, Sony?
So it's a little bit of both, because the day that they announced it, I was like, crap, I finally need because I explained that I always wanted a Vita. I actually always wanted a PSP and I never got one. And then the Vita, I was like, oh, I'll get it. So this pushed me over the edge to get one and to try to load it with some games before the stores closed. So I'm happy that it ended up pushing me over the edge, because I love my Vita. I've been playing it all week. And like I said, I've been playing Daxter and stuff like that. But the thing that obsessed me is that the day one that I got it, I dropped like $100 on games to just load it up with. So now I could have just waited a little bit, and then, all that stuff could have happened. But I'm happy because whenever I upgraded to my PS4, I sold my PS3, which was a mistake. And I told myself this year that I would keep my PS4, but now the PS5 is backwards compatible. So now I'm looking at buying a PS3, and they've actually dropped in price because of the stores. So it's not a huge there's not a huge deal or anything going on with that. So I'm going to be able to get one easily. Nice. But I am happy for them, because there was a lot of great games. There's a lot of great games in that store that are not on the PlayStation 4 and so on. So I think it was a great decision. They almost like destroyed a whole library of stuff, man. It was really close. So I'm happy. I'm happy.
The thing is with that also is that you would have still been, if you purchased it, they still have to keep it on the store for you to re-download it. It's kind of like what happened with the 360, because I have the old school Double Dragons that is no longer on the store, but I can still play it just because I purchased it. So that's what would have happened. But any of the older games, I know there was a bunch of games that like you could only play on the PS3 right now, like that are like that were in that store, and if this would have went through the summer, like that would have been it. You would have could not get it again unless you got the physical copy. And some of these games weren't even physical copies; some of them were straight digital. So with that said, Yendi, what did you think about the news of them taking it back?
Man, look, this is Sony straight up backpedaling like crazy because it backfired on them. And, again, like I've said before, I feel like Sony's losing their gamer centric ways that got them to have such a successful previous generation with the PS4. It's just, they were pro gamer. They were not about that nonsense that Xbox was trying to push on people, which is now pretty much standard. But I mean, they're going back to how they used to be with the PlayStation 3. They're just they're too focused on the numbers right now, as can be seen by the turmoil going on at the internal studios and with their games and how they're handling all that. No new IP, nothing. It's just they're. I think they're too scared. They're too scared to do anything new. And this was another sign of them probably saving money on, again, storage and licensing and all that. Because, again, I think what matters to them now most is the bottom line. They want to make their shareholders happy, which is the case with most companies nowadays. And it's a shame because it's affecting gamers. And I think what Sony needs to do is get somebody in management who knows gamers, like Sean Layden did. Sean Layden was great for that company. We still don't know, I believe, why he left, but he's somebody who I looked up to, from the PlayStation brand. Everybody else wasn't really, or what's the other guy's name? Kaz, the Japanese guy. I forgot, Kaz Hazunori or something like that.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I know what you're talking about.
them two together, man, they were so awesome. Sean Layden was so down to earth, and he knew what gamers wanted. And look at the PlayStation 4. That's proof enough that he did a great job. But yeah, man, Sony, they need to just stop, look themselves in the mirrors, and figure out, like, hey, we need to do more gamer centric stuff again, like we used to do the previous generation, because we're just going to lose it, unfortunately, because they are a Japanese studio and they are historically known to be very stubborn and don't like to change and all that stuff. I feel like this is only going to get worse from now on, especially so with Jim Ryan at the head of Sony Entertainment, right? I don't know what that guy, why he's in charge, but he shouldn't be in charge at all. He's like the Activision version of he's a Bobby Kotick version, but for Sony. He's terrible. He's terrible, straight up. But yeah, they need to get their stuff together, because they keep it up, Xbox wins this generation, and not just from sales, but in the hearts of gamers too. So yeah, get it together, Sony.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And I think, even with sales and stuff like that, I mean, just pleasing your gamers is something you want to do. And I mean, I'm glad personally that they took this back, because again, there are people out there who still use this store, and it's evident that, there's people who use the store, because you do have the numbers of how many people use the store. And the fact that it's the only way that you're able to play these games is where I think the biggest issue comes in, because it's like, yeah, maybe I never got to this game, but it may make me go, like, it made Chris go get a Vita, like, to play those games. You know what I mean? And there's other people out there who are going to do the same thing. Hey, maybe I'm going to get a Vita to, so I can replay these games, and I'd like the store to be open. So if I want to play anything else, I don't see why, they have this big notion on, let's just take it out, because, they just assume no one's playing it, or the numbers don't affect them enough so that they, feel like they should keep it. But then you get an outrage like this, where people are like, no, we want these because this is legit the only way we can play some of these games. So I'm glad that they did it. I'm glad that they reflected and looked at it and got, oh, we messed up, we're going to take it back. You know what I mean? So that is a good sign that at least they're listening to situations like that. But also, I agree with Yendi in the sense that I don't know how many times they will do something like this, because I feel like once they make their decisions on most cases, they're probably just going to keep that decision. And I'm actually was shocked that they made the decision to take it back. When I read this yesterday, I was like, oh snap. I sent it to our chat and was like, yo, they took it back, which was very interesting.
Speaking of which, did you see any dip in Sony stock when they announced that? When they
When
announced
they
they weren't gonna.
No. Sony's
There was
stock
no dip.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so Sony. I mean, the stock market's ridiculous right now. But it was they were Sony was having a was having a but I didn't notice anything go crazy and stuff like that for stock wise. They've been pretty much at their thing. But I think they're having issues with because the PS5 is not the PS5 is selling, but they don't have enough supply. So I think it's kind of like one of their major money makers because people are. I mean, but the good thing is people are buying TVs and stuff like that. So it is an interesting thing. That's the thing about it's hard to read with Sony shareholders is because they're into so many other things. So it doesn't like directly not like whatever Sony does. Like if it's like a PlayStation thing, it could the numbers might look crazy unless it's like a huge sale or it's like you can't really gauge it. It's kind of weird. So yeah, but I mean, like I said, I think it's a good move for Sony to take this back and be more gamer centric. So we'll see if this continues.
Maybe they'll finally decide to make something related to Game Pass other than PlayStation Now and just use that library.
Which there's a rumor that that's actually happening. They're supposedly in the works in making a competitor to Xbox Game Pass.
Thank
but
God.
Going back to that last topic, even though I said what I said, I do think eventually they do have to sunset that stuff, like those older games and the stores. It's just a matter of time. People need to learn to let go of old stuff to make way for the new stuff. Otherwise, it just can be stale for years and years and years.
Listen,
I get the nostalgia is there for a lot of people, like Chris, who got a Vita.
Mm-hmm.
Good,
yeah.
great. I'm glad that you were finally able to experience that. But if we keep that stuff there, it's taking up space for newer stuff. It's taking up resources, that could be
You mean
used.
remakes?
Remakes, yeah. Just the older store,
No,
they
I
gotta
know
make
what you're
room.
saying.
I mean,
I
I'm
get
not honestly. I think once a console generation ends, whatever that store was should go.
I disagree.
Or
Me too.
But it's just me. Make room,
disagree.
man.
Listen, the only game I could play from my PlayStation 3 games right now is Super Street Puzzle Fighter, which is a Street Fighter puzzle game, which is fantastic. And that's the only way you can play it right now is on PlayStation Now, unless you have a PS3.
You know what the solution is? The solution is for them to make everything backwards compatible, kind of like Xbox has.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you go forward. You can bring those games into the new store, but it's in the new store. You don't have to go back again. Everything's backwards compatible from the console. They need to get on with it, man. People want this. It's a feature they want, not just this half-ass backwards compatibility that they have, because not all PlayStation games are compatible, which is it's kind of like that's kind of crappy. With Xbox, I can play Morrowind still.
Xbox game,
yeah, yeah, that's insane.
Yeah,
I love knowing that option is there. I never use it, but I love knowing that it's there, and that's what PlayStation needs to do. They need to get on it, get rid of the old stores, bring everything to the future.
And listen, PlayStation, Fat Princess better be available day one. These people don't know about this game, all right? But they will know. Put it on there game one. Day one. Said game one. Day one. All right.
I've heard about it.
I know you're watching. Princess. Yeah, that game is fantastic.
Yeah, Jim Ryan butthole.
But I agreed with that point though, Yendi, for sure. Like I do, if you make everything backwards compatible, then you don't run into this particular issue. Because I mean, the main issue is when you do if you try to wipe out the store like right when the next gen, I know you have to give it some time, but also people don't have a PS5 right now. So like you closing the PS4 store and games still being developed for PS4 would kind of hurt them if they just closed the PS4 store. So I do think they do need to bridge this out better, which goes to a point that I've always wanted. They need to do better console releases. I know we had a chip shortage, but this all could have been prevented if you just put out a year before these consoles, you planned on coming out with these consoles, just be like, you guys have to pre-order it. If you don't pre-order it, you don't get the console when we release it, period. That's it. Like, I feel like Sony could do that themselves and make a ton more money. And it would also help knowing how much consoles you have to generate
need. Yeah.
in a year. So that's always been my thing with consoles, and I know why they do it. They do it so that they can. People are demanding this, so we want to do this, and it's to make your quarter one and quarter two numbers look better. I know what you're doing because I'm into this stuff now. So you're not tricking me anymore. So just release for the gamers. Just have them pre-order it, and honestly, if you don't pre-order it, knowing that you want it, that's your fault at that point. Or you can work whatever you can. You put a down payment deposit if you need to pay for it later, but you should have a year in advance so you know how much consoles you should start making. That's just my take on that.
And also, I feel like with Yenny said with the store, I think that whenever it comes to a console launch and they make a game, there needs to be more like next gen exclusive games on that launch day to bring people over. Because with Cyberpunk and all that stuff trying to go backwards and trying to make it for PS4 players, you want those people to jump over. Nintendo does a great job with that. I mean, even though people get mad, they did it with the new Nintendo 3DS with what was it? Majora's Mask. Right? You needed the new version of the 3DS to play Majora's Mask because it took control of the new stick on there. And I made a lot of people mad, but people bought it anyway. You know what I mean? And the game played well. So it's one of those things where I hope in the future on the next console launch that if they do decide to make these games and they're like, okay, we have to keep, or we want to transition it from PlayStation 5 into the PlayStation 6 or whatever they're going to call it, right? They need to have more of those games where like, okay, guys, so these games are only for the PlayStation 6, and this is what to expect whenever you guys finally decide to jump over or able to jump over to the next gen, and you have this surprise there.
Yeah, and I agree with... Oh, go ahead, Yendi.
With Nintendo, since we're talking about Nintendo, and I'm now a Nintendo hater, Nintendo's even worse. They're even worse when it comes to this BS, man. Like just the other day, I was really, really wanting. I had that Pokemon crave. I really wanted to play Pokemon X and Y, probably my favorite game. So I went to the e-store, or whatever the heck it's called, eShop. Looked for it. No, the only damn Pokemon game available are some stupid ass knockoff mobile game, and then Sword and Shield. And I was severely disappointed because I really, really, really wanted to do that. And I just never understand why Nintendo doesn't like money.
They told us from the jump. They've said this from the jump because a lot of people have said this. Yeah, they said that if you want to enjoy, they believe the way they look at it, right? These old guys all the way up top that nobody can, they have to wait for them to pass away. They're the guys that are just like, if they want to play those games and they love those games, then they're going to go back and play those consoles. We're not bringing it over. Yeah, exactly.
I just want to play Pokemon X and Y on my Switch. If that was the case, I would be playing my Switch way more often if I can actually go back, which I know I sound hypocritical now saying I want to go back to different games. But, they should also be backward compatible. None of their games are demanding at all, period. None of them. Zero. Every game released prior to the Switch can probably be played on the Switch.
Easily.
Easily. It's like, why are you so stupid? Why don't you put these games on your new consoles so dumbasses like me can spend money again? Because I know you're not going to let them keep them in my library because, F that S. Just let me play all the Pokemon games. It's your breadwinner. It's one of your breadwinners, one of your many. Stop being stingy. Bring that crap over to the Switch. I want to play Pokemon again. Maybe. And not some shitty-ass X or Shield bull crap. So get it together, Nintendo and Sony. Come to the future, bro. Look at Xbox. Look at the.
Well, I mean, maybe Nintendo, maybe with the Game Pass thing, man.
No, it's not gonna happen.
Maybe.
I'm gonna take your dress. I'm buying your dress.
I will say though, if Game Pass does happen, they are not putting Pokemon.
No,
games
they're
on
not.
There.
That'd be so dope, though. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? I'd load up. The first thing I do
on that.
The first thing I would do is download Pokemon Emerald because that was my favorite.
There's no Nintendo games going to Xbox.
I know, but I'm just saying. It would be.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying, if there's just absolutely no way that's
the dream, bro. The dream.
No way. But yes, I agree with Yendi's point. Just make it backwards compatible. The thing is with Nintendo is they're of the mindset, you are gonna go back, but then what ends up happening is we can't find the console if you did sell them. This is why I don't sell my consoles because I realized after I worked with GameStop, I realized how much money I was losing. And I realized that all these consoles that I do want to play, like I end up getting these itches that I want to play these consoles, like 5 years, whatever. The other day, I actually pulled out the Nintendo 64 because I wanted to play GoldenEye, and I was able to because I still have my 64. So I stopped giving away my consoles, and I stopped because there's going to be that time where I know I want to play it, but you shouldn't have to do that, is what I'm saying. You should be able to have those games on backwards compatibility, and and people want to play them. It's not even like there's not a demand, and you're also still charging us like 40-50 bucks for those games because Nintendo's games never depreciate because that's the only way you can get them. So
and now we're also getting into that time where because I have a GameCube and I had to buy a chip for it that plugs into. It had to be a specific GameCube, like I had a serial number. Bought a chip that plugs into the back of the ports so I can connect my HDMI to it so I can take it to my TV. The TVs aren't able to support that. They just came out with a Nintendo 64 one where you plug it into the back and it converts it to HDMI so you can play it on your TVs. I still have my N64 though. I will never give that away.
Oh no, I think I have pretty much every system from my PlayStation on. I don't think I have. Well, I have my Nintendo and my Super Nintendo and my Sega. Well, I'm lying. I have everything from Nintendo on. Pretty sure of that. I don't know if they all work though. So
yeah,
but all right. We're going to go on to our next story, which is a pretty big one, actually. Overwatch director Jeff Kaplan leaves Blizzard's Entertainment. This is a big story. IGN is the one that I'm reading this article from. It's by Matt T.M. Kim. He says Jeff Kaplan, the director of Overwatch, has announced he is leaving Blizzard Entertainment after nearly 20 years with the company. In a personal message, Kaplan announced his departure from Blizzard after 19 years. So it says, "Greeting Overwatch community. I am leaving Blizzard Entertainment after 19 years. It was truly the honor of a lifetime to have the opportunity to create worlds and heroes for such a passionate audience. I want to express my deep appreciation to everyone at Blizzard who supported our games, our game team, and our players. But I wanted to say a special thank you to the wonderful game developers that shared in the journey of the creation with me. Never accept the world as it appears to be. Always dare to see it as what it could be. I hope you do the same. GG, Jeffrey Kaplan." So this is a very interesting timing, I feel, because I like with the development of Overwatch 2 and the hype around that, I feel like it's a very interesting time for him to be leaving. So I wanted to know, how'd you guys feel about that? I know, Chris, you do play Overwatch. You used to play Overwatch, or you're in the you're like into that. So yeah. I wanted to know your takes on that first. How do you feel about this?
I used to be shocked about this kind of stuff, but in their shoes, man, in these directors' shoes, it's never a good time to leave. If he waited till the game was done, they were gonna be well on their way to another project that he was gonna direct, and he was gonna leave at that point. I wish this guy the best. I hope. I mean, they say the game's doing well. I'm sure he wouldn't have left them high and dry without them realizing, like, I'm sure they got to a point where he's just like, okay, the game, like, literally they can take care of the rest themselves. It's going in the direction I wanted it to go. They're good. They got it. I trust my team because they he builds the team. I trust my team. They can do it. They don't need me, and I can exit.
And just to add before you keep going, development on Overwatch 2 will continue with the assistant director, Aaron Keller, taking over as the new on the sequel. Keller previously worked with Kaplan on World of Warcraft, which goes to your point, him leaving it with someone he knows and stuff like that.
So they know what they're doing. It doesn't say what he was going to do next, right?
No, that was just the article itself with him saying, Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm assuming in the next couple of days we're going to get either, I mean, I'm sure he's not retiring, but in the next couple of days we'll get the news of, like, so, Jeff joins whatever, and and it's going to be big news. We'll probably be talking about it next week. I am a little skeptical about Overwatch 2 because we still don't have a release date, correct? Mm-hmm. The way they've talked about this game, I'm excited for it, but at the same time, I'm like, how are you selling this game? Because the way you're talking about, like, oh yeah, the new heroes are still gonna go to the first Overwatch, it's very weird. But I just want this game, dude. I just want Overwatch 2 so more people can jump on the servers and start playing again, because it's hard to find a game. It's a lot of fun. But Jeff, I know you're watching. You know, we go way back.
Or listening.
That one time, yeah, that one time we had coffee. We go way back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Good luck with your next project. Yeah, feel free to send Last Place Fire Team any codes for testing. We'll help you out. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, Chris and Yendi, what do you think about this?
Okay, so I think both of you know I'm not a really big Overwatch fan. I'm sorry, I take that back. I'm not into Overwatch. I've never played it. I've only seen gameplay of it. So with that being said,
you just hate everything.
I don't know much. The only thing I don't hate it. I never played it. Never tried it.
Never played it. That's fine.
Just noting that. So with that being said, I have heard rumblings that Overwatch had issues with their gameplay balance or the competitive scene. So that makes me wonder. Was Kaplan not wanting to budge on what gamers actually wanted? And I know that there was a big issue in the competitive scene. So I'm wondering if Kaplan was like, no, we're not making any of these changes because this is my vision. This is how I want the game, blah, blah, blah. And did this eventually lead to disputes with the higher ups who wanted to make the changes to appease the gamers, to make more money? But Kaplan was like, no, again, this is my game. So I'm wondering if that was like one of the major reasons why he decided to leave, because his creative vision was trying to be changed by the higher ups who are trying to make the money, which is their job. So I'm thinking, I don't know anything about them, but I'm thinking of the turmoil behind the scenes is what led to Kaplan to leave, because they were trying to change his vision for the next Overwatch. Probably
it could have, because I mean, I now that you say that, that definitely could have been a factor, because esports is growing. I keep up with the esports scene a lot. I'm pretty sure they didn't know that the Overwatch League was going to happen and all this, how big it was going to be and how much money was going to be in it. I forgot how much an organization has to pay for a spot. But
it's a ton.
It's a lot of money.
All of those companies.
Yeah, but I see it. What did you say?
Huh?
You said $13 tops.
All right,
maximum.
But even in Call of Duty, like, you see arguments between developers and the players. Just like, players are like, fix this, and developers are like, guys, like basically leave us alone because you're stressing us out. So it could be that, because the way Overwatch League is going, if they want to keep those organizations in there, they need to basically work with those players. And if he wanted to play a game like a nice, shoot 'em up with your friends, and he was planning for that, it is kind of frustrating to go off of like having somebody breathing down your neck, like, make sure this is balanced, like this needs to be like, you're building the competitive game at that point. You're not following your dream, like Yendi said. But with the money side of it, organizations will pull out, and like I said, a spot to get into the league is ridiculous, and that is a lot of money for them.
So like I was saying, shoot, man, I'm freaking this beer, man. I swear, it's just a crazy.
Just
magic.
the one beer, guys.
I know
one beer.
one beer.
Had one beer.
My face, how red it is. But anyways, the thing that's that I'm wondering is if this is an issue with the creative, undergoings or whatever it is with the game. I find it weird because it's not a campaign, right? It's just strictly PvP. There's no story to this game.
Yeah, there's no story.
So,
yeah, go ahead, Ian.
If that is the case, and Kaplan is just not budging on his creative views, I mean that's kind of selfish on his part, because as a director of the game, you would want to see the game succeed. And just like Riot is doing with Valorant, they're listening to the competitive scene because they know how important it is. And I feel like Kaplan's maybe being a little baby about it. Again, I don't know if this is the issue. Then I feel like that's what's happening. It's just he's just not wanting to let go of his creation and letting people put their hands in the pot and all that.
Real quick,
if that is
real quick, because I have it up before I forget. How much do you think is a spot how much do you think a spot is in the Overwatch League for an organization to join the league and get their team in?
Probably like 100K.
How much?
1 billion.
1
million.
50 million.
What?
for a spot in the Overwatch League.
Become?
50 million for a spot.
And it's probably more. It's even.
And
more
the players
for,
are getting paid. The starting salary for a player is 50,000. But we've seen a lot of. There was a Korean player that got traded for a lot of money too. They're going big, man.
No, yeah, I mean, because if you look at the league projections, because league is what you really go based on. If Overwatch costs 50 million, it costs probably 100 million on on league, because that thing is ridiculous, because those guys get paid $1 million contracts. Like, those guys legit get paid like athletes, like legit.
So how many teams are there?
I think there's 12 US teams, and then I forgot how many European teams. Right? Yeah, European, so everything.
If they have to buy in at 50 million, why are there even any issues with this game? Like, they should be listening to what these organizations are saying. Like, but obviously a big portion of the traffic coming to these games are coming from the competitive scene, because it is strictly a PvP game. So I don't understand why they aren't catering to the competitive scene more. I mean, yes, they have a whole league, but something in the studio is not going right. And again, I do think that's why Kaplan left, and whoever's going to take his place is going to start listening to the fans in the competitive.
Which is why I think it's less about him trying to make those moves and more about how probably the release for Overwatch 2 is going to be. Because I think it's more so of him, they're probably obviously a deadline on when to release Overwatch 2, and he could be probably getting too much interference for Overwatch 2. I don't think the competitiveness is affecting him that much, because again, like you guys said, it's kind of odd that you just be selfish in the sense of, oh, I don't want to change this game to cater to these people, especially when they're the ones providing you with most of the money. I feel personally this has to do with Overwatch 2, and probably we know how Activision is, and we know how they are with wanting to release games pretty much every year. And I think that might be a major issue, because when Activision took over for World of Warcraft, that's when the game legit deteriorated, and Blizzard's games started to take a massive decline from my perspective, because their game, they were just trying to crank out so much content, and people weren't focused on the game itself, and it was always just so much quick rapid movement, and developers weren't listening at all. And I think that now that Shadowlands has come out, and I feel like now that Blizzard, at least the Warcraft team, has gotten back to where their roots and stuff like that were, I think this could have been the same thing that's going on with Overwatch 2, where they probably were just pressing Kaplan with so many different things, and he was just like, you know what? I don't want to deal with any of this. I've been doing this for 20 years, and I don't need this kind of pressure on a game I already plan on releasing. That, you know what I mean? I don't want to rush this game. It is my baby. This is something that I, helped create, and I don't want all this pressure from the from Activision in order to get this game out. And I think with especially with the games that we've had recently, where we've seen games that been pushed out too fast, Cyberpunk, we're looking at you. You don't want that bad press on your name, because no matter what we say, Cyberpunk could probably become the best game of all time, and
nobody's gonna know.
Nobody's gonna know.
Yeah.
So as if I'm a director and you're pushing me on stuff like that for Overwatch 2, I'm gonna be like, you know what? I don't want no parts of that. So that way, I personally don't give my brand the negative expression.
Especially, your reputation too is on the line. Exactly. Also, because you're the face of the game, since you're the director, not the person above you. It's you.
Exactly. So Kaplan leaving on a good note, on a note that, hey, I gave you guys this wonderful game. You guys can enjoy it while I'm not with the company, but I did give you guys this game that we created from the ground up, and you guys seem to enjoy it. Let me leave on the high road before, which is what gets me scared about Overwatch 2, is because now it makes me think, because he left the team, what is the state of Overwatch 2? Is it where we want it to be? Is it going to give us the same appeal that Overwatch 1 gave us? And those, like I said, I don't know, because until we play the game itself, but that would be one reason why I could see someone going, you know what? I don't want any of this. I can get a job as a director anywhere because I helped make Overwatch. So I'm just going to leave this to you guys. You guys take the position. I don't want any of this bad press. So that's my take on that.
Mm.
So
Before
Yeah.
you move on to the last one, though, I do have breaking movie news.
Okay.
Oh,
All right, I got a screenshot
Okay.
here from the set of Sonic 2.
Okay.
If you
well,
don't want to look, Alan, you don't have to look. And
I'm not gonna look, but we are also
oh, we won't
a
talk about
podcast.
it. Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, don't
So
look.
go
All right,
ahead.
here we go.
Quickly. Is it done yet?
It is now.
Is it done
It
yet?
is now. They
All right,
showed
cool.
who was on set, and
Listen.
yeah, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna
If
be
you
crazy.
haven't watched that Sonic movie, the first one, it is really good.
I haven't seen it.
I gotta watch
enjoyed
it.
that
Yeah.
movie. Watch it with Avery. Just watch it. It's so good. It's such a charming movie, and that was one of the that was like the first real the internet made that thing change, because if you guys remember that
Yeah.
original Sonic trailer we got, I know there's some rumors out there of people saying, oh well, they did that on purpose for clout. No,
Bro,
they did not.
if you want to
They-
get, they
be-
got threatened, they got smacked up by the internet hard.
because the thing is, people say that, oh, we did that as a promotion. You don't spend another 120 million as a promotion. Like, I don't care what you say. Like, good thing that movie did well, because we wouldn't have gotten a sequel, but they overspent on that movie because they had to fix the animation. So the people are not just throwing out bad movies and bad trailers just to throw them out. And we've also seen movies, Justice League, the first one, that just come out and we wondering like, what are you doing? And it's just bad. So, but yeah, go watch that movie if you haven't.
I will. I keep telling myself to, because whenever they did redo it for the fan, like all the fans and stuff like that, I was like, yeah, I need to give them my money.
Really charming movie. Really charming movie. And we're gonna go to our last story of the day, which is Lord of the Ring. Amazon has canceled its Lord of the Rings MMORPG. This is also from IGN. This is by Adam Burkhurst. Basically, it says Amazon has canceled its Lord of the Rings MMORPG that was announced in 2019. As reported by Bloomberg, the game was in development at Amazon Game Studios alongside China-based Luyo Technologies Holding Ltd., which was purchased by Tencent Holding in December in 2020. The contract negotiation between Amazon and Tencent were said to have caused a dispute that eventually led to the game's cancellation. An Amazon spokesperson confirmed that following Tencent's accusation of Luyo, it had been unable to secure terms to proceed with this title at this time. The team will be shifted to other projects, and Amazon shared its disappointment in not being able to bring the project to the world. The quote from the spokesperson goes, "We love the Lord of the Rings IP and are disappointed that we won't be bringing the game to customers." So we were talking about this briefly earlier before we got some of this information. So Yendi, what do you think with Amazon canceling this? Do you feel like that is a true story, that they had a dispute with between the two companies?
Yeah, I think so, because Tencent and Amazon are they're pretty comparable as far as like how much money they have. Because Tencent owns
Tencent is
most of the
everything.
game companies that Tencent probably has a stake in it. But I'm sure there was some,
Clash.
Clash between the higher ups. But like I said before, Amazon's way of making games is just by throwing money at it. Do I think that it was Amazon's fault that this fell through? I don't know. It sounds like maybe it was a 50-50. But to prove my point, if you just reread that quote again, to see how Amazon is thinking, they say, "We love Lord of the Rings IP and are disappointed that we won't be bringing the game to customers."
Yes.
Or gamers. We're gamers, right? That right there tells you how Amazon is thinking. They're also thinking bottom line. So I think maybe Amazon was like, "Hey, Tencent, we want more of a cut for the proceeds for this, whatever this game makes," which sucks, because even though I'm not an MMORPG player, I did want to at least see what the world was like, because I do like the Lord of the Rings, the lore and the world and the characters, and that's just it. I bet it would make for such an amazing world and just experience with altogether because of Lord of the Rings. There's so many so many stories that haven't been told yet because this universe is so huge. And it's sad to know that we won't see certain cities or certain races or just different characters that you never heard of before from reading even the original books. It's just it's sad, but I think I'm gonna place my bets and say that it is Amazon who was being stubborn again, and they wanted more money, and that's why it led to the cancellation of this MMORPG. It might get taken up by somebody else later in the future, but I mean, then again, I think Amazon owns the licensing deal for Lord of the Rings, period, from Tolkien and the Tolkien estate. So
do they have the movies on Prime?
I don't know.
No, those are contracted. So, I mean, eventually, once those contracts are over, then those movies could move over. It's kind of like what happened with me. And if the things are contracted out, then you have to wait till those contracts are ended, or you have to buy out those contracts. So.
Yeah, because that's New Line Cinema, right?
Oh, it's on HBO Max right now.
Yeah.
So
because they're contracted out.
Because we've been talking about Lord of the Rings a lot, right? I told you guys I only saw the second one when I was a kid. So I'm gonna make it a point to watch all of it. This year.
Director cuts?
This year. No, I'm not.
Don't make him do that.
I'm not doing that. I've heard. If I become a big enough,
I don't see the for a rainy day, man.
If I am a big enough fan, maybe it'll draw me in. All right, but should I watch? Because I know the Hobbit series is out and everything.
You don't need those.
How do I watch?
Those are good. Those are good.
How do I watch this? I'm new to it all. Look, so should I just go with Hobbit first and then into Lord of the Rings, or just watch?
You will probably enjoy the Hobbit more because they're more. I don't want to say they're more action packed. They're more modern in a sense, like cinematography and effects and stuff like that. So you'll probably enjoy it because of that. I personally loved all of them. Because I love Lord of the Rings. Period. It doesn't matter. I love seeing some of the characters. The battles are super cool. The music, the cinematography is awesome. If you're gonna do the whole thing, I think you should start at the Hobbit and go in chronological order, like the books. It's weird that they split the Hobbit book into 3 movies. I don't think it was necessary because they're stupid long still. But you could just read the Hobbit book if you want. You want to skip that part and then just watch the other 3 movies.
That I wouldn't recommend.
I like the Hobbit book. That was a good Hobbit book. I mean,
those are hard reads. Like even telling people, listen, even telling people to read an original Lord of the Rings is a hard read. It's because lot of people. Okay, for you,
it's like reading the Old Testament.
No,
they are difficult reads for people who don't like.
Then again, last time I read them, I was in high school still, I believe. So they were great. Even for me in high school, they were awesome, and I could envision everything.
See, I'm weird. I don't read books like that, man. It's like in high school I read like the Percy Jackson books, but I like now I read, like I told you guys, I'm gonna get the book with what's his name? I'm blanking
Henry
out.
Patter?
No.
Oh.
But anyway, I like sports psychology books, like stuff like that deal with like life right now. So I can't get into fantasy books anymore. I don't know what it is. I just got to find the right one for me. But yeah, it's weird.
Here's my advice, Chris. If you're going to watch the movies, I recommend you do it exactly like you would Star Wars. Watch the first movies that came out.
The originals.
Because I mean, just because the Hobbit's graphics and visually are more modern, so it's hard. Like
you're right. I'm gonna go with Alan's thing because I remember showing Bree. I got her into Star Wars before 7 came out. Right, she didn't watch them, and I made the mistake of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When we got to 4, she's like, "What are we watching?" I said, "Star Wars." Why does it look like that? I was like,
it's very confusing. Like, I did the same thing. Yeah. It's very, very confusing.
As soon as she said that, I was like, oh no, I screwed her up.
I recommend always watch like the least visual, and not saying that Lord of the Rings isn't visually pleasing, because without Lord of the Rings, there's a lot of movies we would not have. There's a lot of lore, a lot of history. Without Lord of the Rings, we always need Lord of the Rings. That's why when people, and this is what I get upset, and I'm going to go on a little tyrant, but when people are like, one has to go, and people choose Lord of the Rings, you realize if you choose Lord of the Rings, everything else is going too, right? Because without Lord of the Rings, we don't get most of this stuff. That includes Marvel, that includes DC, that includes everything. So
Most
don't.
CGI, period.
That's the movies we're talking about, and I'm talking about the book in general. Without Lord of the Rings, the book,
Yeah.
plenty of stories we would not get because it's ridiculous to think how long ago Tolkien even wrote those books. But with that was the first book of its kind, and it legit opened up the fantasy world. And that's when people were like, "It's cool to write fantasy stuff." It was because of Tolkien. So don't ever get rid of Lord of the Rings. That's my what you call it.
But Chris, I do stand by what I said. I think you should watch The Hobbit first, because then you see, when you watch the later movies, you see stuff from The Hobbit. You're like, oh yeah, I know about that from The Hobbit. But I get it. I watch Star Wars that same way because I was told to watch it in chronological, and I was thrown off so much by going back in time. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense to me in my brain. But I preferred watching it that way, even though it was confusing as heck. But people are different. You might not like.
I mean, I like film. I like film in general. So that, like, if I do watch the Hobbit series and I go and I watch the original, like, seeing the transition there, it's not gonna bug me at all. Like, it never really does. I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. And then I go in and I just kind of more pick apart of like, okay, this is how they filmed it then to what it is now. So
I mean, I think the movies still hold up today, man. Those movies were made so well.
One of the great battles of all time. Period. Like, it's just, I mean, we don't get like. I mean, the only thing that tops that for me, and it recently, and that's only because the end game last scene was just, it was mind blowing, and I couldn't. But Helm's Deep is like the greatest.
So you've never seen Return of the King?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you have to watch all of them, because that build up to that. oh.
Is that the one the giant wars like at the end and stuff? Is it a giant fight?
I mean, there's one of the two towers as well.
Okay, so the two towers, I remember playing that game too. I had the PS2 game.
Oh man, you got a whole new experience waiting for you if you haven't seen the Return of the King.
All right, but real quick,
all of them. I'm so jealous that you haven't.
Real quick,
experienced it.
This is gonna be a weird transition, okay, especially for the audio listeners. But I just had a question for you, Andy. Right? What? You don't like Mario, correct?
No, I like Mario. I think it's a stale franchise. I think they need to.
Can you look behind you, please?
What do you?
You know,
you got a Mario, but it's an old school Mario.
I know, but I saw it. I was just like, wait, this is man. That's it.
What are you talking about? Oh, my hat. This was a GameStop rewards thing. So I'm like, hey, yeah, give me that.
I was just like, as soon as you turned around, I was like, hold on.
Listen, I'm a gamer, period, right? I played Mario games. I love them, but that's it, man. Like, get over with this nonsense. Bring new IPs in. Don't get me started with Nintendo now.
Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good.
We're gonna have a Nintendo. We need a video. Andy just doing a Nintendo.
I might do a Nintendo video, like Nintendo way so stupid.
Don't do it, please.
Back to the point. On Amazon, and not making this MMO.
I am not surprised. I wasn't gonna play it. I am still not trustworthy of these companies trying to build their, like, just because they had the money, they're like, I'm gonna make my own gaming company and profit from it and try to get into this game. You guys, like Yendi said, with the customers thing, it's just like it all leads up to untrustworthy stuff. I mean, they do have their program. What's the program that you got to try out, Alan?
Luna.
Is that still holding up?
No, it's still going up good. They're adding some new games, but again, it's Luna. The only issue with Luna, and I knew this was going to be an issue, is it's getting those titles, and it's hard to compete with what Microsoft has already established with cloud and all that stuff. The conveniency of Luna is probably its biggest sell point, because it's amazing that, like, if I'm playing it here on my computer, that I can go out on my TV, which has the Fire HD, and I can just hit the middle button on my controller, and then the game pops up. Like, it's legit. It's so what's the word I'm looking for? It's so efficient, I guess.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
Convenience, the word I'm looking for. It's so convenient to be able to do that, and like you can do that from your phone to your PC to the TV, and as long as you have like an Amazon thing, it's great. But yes, I see what.
But yeah, it's I'm not I'm not sad about it. We do have the other Lord of the Rings game coming out, and I'm just happy that they're gonna keep the show. I'm excited to see the series because the series that they make are really good. I like a lot of Amazon's shows that they have out right now. They do a really good job. So just stick with that, man, and you'll make the money you need. Like,
Does Amazon even need to make more money? Is the real crazy
no,
thing.
they don't. But I'm just saying, if they're gonna get into something, just work on the Prime, your Prime app, and just keep adding shows and stuff like that, and you'll be just fine.
I think Amazon has gotten to that point where they're making so much money they just have
don't. Yeah.
two different like endeavors, like whether it's good or bad. I also find my thoughts on the whole Lord of the Rings thing is I felt like this would have been conflicting, and I know they're targeting the Lord of the Rings audience, but also I mean Amazon has New World coming out, which is supposed to come out in August, and I feel like you're going to, and if like as a person who's played MMOs and like I mean WoW is the best game I've ever played, but like I feel like when you have a world of MMOs, you build them so that the players can be stuck to that game, right? So like, and it's always made so that you can continue playing those games. And I kind of side with Yendi on this too because it's like you come out with a Lord of the Rings title, and yes, you're going to have that audience, but you also want people to play New World. So if I'm going to have, I'm not paying two subscription fees unless you give me like unless I'm a Prime player, like if I'm a Prime and you allow me to play both of those games, like paying $15, which is usually the standard for like MMO subscriptions, I don't want to have to play New World, not saying I'm going to play it, and then decide if I want to play Lord of the Rings also. So it kind of like hurts them within their own organization of making two games that are going to be very similar because there's not much you can change on MMOs. We kind of have like the standard of what an MMO is going to be, questing and doing final raid content and stuff like that. And now you're going to tell people to play two of them and like stop subscription on one of them because that's what happens. There's rare that people just play two separate MMOs unless it's like a geared end game kind of thing. So I don't know. I feel like that had part of the reason to it. I feel like the deflection thing is, I mean, the dysfunction thing could totally be something, and maybe they didn't want to associate with each other, or it could have been like a power struggle. I know Amazon just wants to get as much content as it wants out there, so I feel like they would have probably released this around the time the show released and be like, hey, the show's out, go watch the show, go play the thing. But I agree with you, Chris, with the TV shows. I mean, if you're not watching Invincible, you should because it's amazing. But yeah, I mean, Amazon's doing a great job at their TV stuff, but it's also hard to tell a company that's making so much money not to do other things. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you guys have any final thoughts on that?
No.
All right. Well, I guess guys, that's going to be it for the show. We're closing out episode 12 again, guys. Just housekeeping that I did at the beginning. If you guys, we are still doing that mouse giveaway. As soon as we hit 50 on both Twitch and YouTube, we will give out the rules of the giveaway. But please, the faster we reach there, the faster we start doing the giveaway, and the faster we can get to our next giveaway. Like I said, Friday I had a video come out on my two favorite Dreamcast games. This Friday we have Chris is going to have a his video. If you want to explain a little bit about it, Chris.
If you guys seen my first episode, it's called Fever Quest. It's something I started where I take on just weird gaming challenges. If you want, go watch episode 1. It will not be that long of a video. Episode 1 is 30 minutes. So this second one's going to be a little bit shorter. But episode 1 is a Hitman. I was playing Hitman, and I had to get 20 bodies in a bathroom with only using by knocking people out with a gold bar. So it's just like quirky stuff like that. So there's going to be a new episode this Friday, and hope you guys check it out.
Yeah. And then Yendi, do you have any final thoughts? Final word?
No. Well, I might. I think Chris said he's gonna stream on Friday. Maybe.
Yeah,
Outriders,
I might stream Friday.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
it might
if
be.
Chris doesn't, then I will.
Yeah. If I will be playing it with Yendi. Yeah, Yendi, we'll probably have you. Let's have your face on there this time.
I'll probably
quite a bit.
Playing a little bit. So
Yeah.
I'll jump in with you guys. So Friday, guys, join us for Outriders. I mean, we're just gonna
Outriders, Apex. We'll probably be playing a whole mess of games.
And so you come join us on Friday. We'll do a quick game. We'll do a gaming stream. So yeah. Besides that, guys, thank you for all your support. That is the end of episode 12. Thank you for everyone who joined us, and we are out. So Fire Team out.
Fire Team out.